Hey and welcome. I want to continue with selectors, and we are going to see an example by styling some of these things, just changing a few things to see what they mean. So we will do an example of this, and we will start from here so that we can see what the difference is. So if I come back into the code, and I'm using file 3.html where we copied this UL down here, and then we also copied this UL inside of an li to create a sub menu, and that is what gave us this result. So first let me delete this because I don't really need this part. I don't need this UL, so I'll just remove this one, Control S, and I'll also remove that, Control S. So if I come here and I want to use, in this case I'm going to use the class. In this example I was using a div, but I want to use a class. As I said, you can use a div, you can use an ID as well. It doesn't really matter. It all depends on you what you want to select. So if I come here and select this class, and I want to style all LIs that are under it. So if I come here, the first thing I need to do, you can see our menu is kind of not visible. I want to style the A tags. I want to change its color, and I will just select this yellow color right there, and A, all anchor text, give them a color, and I'll paste in that color. If I reload, you can see at least our links are now visible. So I want to select this and then at least change the font, just make a simple change to see how the LIs will be listed. Copy this one again, second nav, that's the selector. So if I say li, and you know this one will select all LIs which are children and grandchildren of second nav. So I say I give it a font, I give it a font size of 2 EM and a font weight bold. Now this is going to make everything under this class bold and 2 EM. So if I reload this, you can see it affects all this. I can see there's some discrepancy in the font size. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use REM, and that should give us the same result for all of them. So we'll take a look at units later on, so just bear with me for now. So I will copy this one again there, and if I change this, let's say to 4, and then let me remove that, and if I come here, you see it only affects these guys because they are the direct children. It does not affect the grandchildren. It only affects the children of the class. So if you come back into the actual HTML, you will see that this li is affected and all the other LIs are affected. These LIs which are in here from subnav to subnav 4 is not affected. So if I reload, you'll see these guys are not affected. And that is the difference between these two. This one will affect everything. This will affect everything. The grandchildren, the children, all will be affected. This one only affects the children. So your homework is this. You come here and experiment with these others, the plus and the tilde selector. So if I was to use an analogy of money, let's say someone gives your parents money, and the rule is that the money should be shared. So this is your parent. This first selector is your parent. The money should be shared in this way using the space selector, and this is you. So in this case, the money will be given to you, all your siblings, and if you have children, the money will also be given to your children and their children if they have children. If the rule is to use this, the money will only be given to you and your siblings. And if they use the plus selector, the money will not be given to you, it will be given to your immediate sibling. And if they use the tilde, this is supposed to be a tilde. If they use the tilde selector, the money will be given to you and your siblings. So that's it for selectors. In the next section, I want to start talking about something else. So I've taken some time to talk about selectors, and I hope by now at least you have some idea and you can go out and experiment until you understand it better. But what you need to keep in mind is that it's always just good to give classes and IDs to elements that you want to style, to avoid using too much selectors. If you have to use so much selectors, just use IDs or classes to style elements, because it saves a lot of time. It is like a rule that has to be followed every time a web page is loaded. That rule has to be followed. But if you only have a class, let's say you had a class here or an ID like we have here, a class, it would make styling pages better for you. But if you find someone else's template, and especially WordPress templates, and you want to make some changes when you're creating a child theme, this is one of the ways that will make sure that every item you select is always styled like you wish. So I will see you in the next video.